Hi, I'm Em, and this is the Ewe Up vlog. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Em. I'm a knitter and pattern designer living in British Columbia, Canada. And this vlog or podcast, whatever term you prefer, is my cozy little corner of the internet where I talk all things knitting, yarn stash curation, let's call it, pattern design, sometimes other crafty business as well. I intersperse full-length episodes where I chat, works in progress, finished objects, future project planning, all of that stuff. I try to do like 1 or 2 a month of those, and then we've got minisodes in between. And this is one such minisode, and it is long overdue. Back in September, I was contacted by the promotional team at Unit Toronto and asked if I would be interested in helping them promote a new book coming out in partnership with Laine magazine. Side note, I say Laine because that is the French word for wool, but I've heard people pronounce it Laine. So if somebody categorically knows what the correct pronunciation is, I am happy to follow suit. So let me know in the comments if there is, if I'm saying it wrong or if it is pronounced in the French way. Anyway, side note aside, I was contacted and asked if I would like to help promote this new publication. It's not new at the time of this video, but at the time it was coming out for pre-order in about a month's time. And the team very kindly sent me a pattern of my choosing from the upcoming book in advance so that I could cast on. And then later they did end up sending me the book itself. So today I'm gonna chat through the book. Again, long overdue, but I think it's still available to order and it's beautiful. So you'll definitely want to think about adding this to your crafting bookshelf. So the book in question, it is Memory Lane by Claudia Quintanilla. It is Embellished Knits to Cherish, and it is all about taking time to savor making and drawing on nostalgia and warm memories and infusing that into your creative process. And if there is one thing about me, I am a sucker for nostalgia and emotional connections to crafting practices. So as soon as I saw the premise for this book, I was sold. And the team was so nice. They let me pick a pattern in advance. They had a few options laid out, and they just basically said, like, pick one and we'll send it to you and maybe you can cast on, which I did ASAP. And that was the Aureliano sweater that you guys have seen before. I chatted more in depth about it in my last vlog episode. It's also all over Instagram. It turned out so cute, and it'll always hold that special memory. And this goes back to the book, really, now that I think about it, but it'll always hold that special memory of this beautiful moment in time where, because of all of you joining me and following me along and interacting with me, I was able to partner with Claudia and her team and become a part of a very exciting little promotion. So I do feel really bad though, because it is now April and the book was published in late September, I think. But, as I briefly mentioned in my last video, that fall and winter was kind of tough. So this got put to the wayside, but we're here now. I'm gonna give you a little peek into the book. I won't be, posting the pattern pages because these are paid for products. So you will have to find the book in your local yarn shop, maybe your local bookstore, maybe even your local library to go more in depth, but we're going to chat through some of the things that I love about this book, some of the patterns that I'm looking forward to eventually casting on, and my overall thoughts. So let's dive in. Let's take a look at the book itself. It is a beautiful book in its full form. It's got a beautifully textured cover, spine, and backing. It's almost giving like a very soft linen fabric kind of feel to it, and it just lends it this really timeless quality, I think. It is a soft cover, so it, you know, bends with you and everything, but that's really nice because it means that you could crack the spine. I know, controversial, but you could crack the spine and set it down flat while you knit, which I actually really appreciate, because accessibility and ease of use are pretty important, especially in this day and age where so many patterns are digital. I think if you're going to have a hard copy of something, it should be something that can easily be worked from and doesn't require, you know, crazy yoga moves to hold it open while you're knitting. Or maybe I'm the only one that does crazy yoga while knitting. I don't know. Let me know. It's a beautiful book. And like I mentioned earlier, it is based on the premise of creating and infusing knitwear with love and memories and care, and really highlighting the special nature of hand-created garments. The book features 19 designs inspired by Claudia's childhood in El Salvador, including and especially inspired by the women in her life throughout her childhood and as she went through her career in the fiber world. And I love that she infused this book with so many personal connections. You know, as she mentions in the preface, it's the outcome of the growing together of memory and imagination into something beautiful. So not only does Claudia draw inspiration from her childhood and the places and people she's loved, she also draws inspiration from books and other pieces of media throughout her life that have made a huge impact on her, and the result is stunning. On to the patterns. Obviously, I've already knit one pattern from this book, the Aureliano sweater, which I'll pop a photo up here for you. It turned out really, really well, and to be honest, I kind of want to knit another one. It was really fun to do the color work. I loved watching the motifs appear and grow. I love my color combination. I kind of shocked myself with that one, to be honest. And it's so cozy. It really is. I'm not wearing it right now because when I wore it in my last video, I actually overheated quite a bit. So it's a little too warm for it, but just know that it does have a special place in my closet. I've also got my eye on a few more patterns in this book, and I thought we could kind of go over them together because it'll give you a good idea about the types of patterns that are in the book and kind of give you some food for thought as well if you also like some of the same patterns that I do. So one of the first patterns that caught my eye here is the conacast. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Conacaste. It's a type of wood, and Claudia says it was inspired by her grandfather's interest in... Hello, are you joining us? Are you joining us? You can hang out. Yeah, okay. Oh, nice kitty. So it's inspired by memories of her grandfather, and it's a really beautiful lace cardigan. The finishings on this cardigan are super simple. The lace is an all over repeated pattern, but it just has this really timeless quality about it. And I've been really drawn to lace cardigans lately, so I'm gonna keep this in my back pocket for sure. Next up is a sweater called Olympia. Now, this sweater caught my eye actually even before the book was published. Unit Toronto had posted a sneak peek of the Olympia sweater, and I immediately put it into a saved folder on Instagram of patterns that I think my mom would like. I think she would pull this off and make it so cute. It looks really simple at the beginning, but at the back, you've got this really sweet, unique styling choice of adding a ribbon. And as you can see, that ribbon just creates such a unique texture and just really draws the eye. And I don't see a lot of knitting patterns using ribbon as opposed to like an I-cord or something like that. So I really enjoy how simple but unique that aspect is. A lot of these patterns are on the simpler side with embellishment. As you know, the tagline says, you know, embellish knits to cherish. It's all about adding those little tiny bits that elevate it and make your project something really special. And what I love too is that even if the embellishments suggested in the pattern aren't necessarily up your street, the overall design of a lot of these projects are really beautiful on their own, and you could absolutely swap out the embroidery or something like that for something that feels more you. And I love that as well, because it's kind of like you're collaborating with Claudia, and also you're being really true to the message of the book, which is to infuse your knitwear with moments that you cherish and memories that you cherish and the elements that are really special to you. So after knitting the Aureliano sweater, I am definitely on a colorwork kick right now. I have saved so many different colorwork patterns on Instagram, but I am really drawn to another colorwork sweater in this collection, which is the Azul sweater. I mean, look at that. It is stunning. Personally, I probably wouldn't go for this color palette, but I love the mix of the stripes with the contrasting X's over top, and I think you could do some really fun color combinations. So I'm gonna sit on this for a while because I need to dream up some fun colors to use for it, make it really special. I love that the raglan shaping is in a different color. I would never have thought of doing that myself, and then to see it on the sweater, I was like, oh, that is so fun. It's super cute, and I would definitely be interested in knitting one at some point. So another colorwork pattern, this is El Naranjo, which is I think Spanish for orange, and Claudia says it's inspired by orange trees, but to me this would make like a great holiday sweater pattern, right? Am I right? Like, that would be so pretty in so many ways. And I love the little beaded embellishments, and I think you could go for something really cool and do a low contrast or lower contrast color combo, maybe two colors in the same family, and then have that little beaded element really catch the light and kind of sparkle and draw visual interest in. So yeah, I love holiday knitting patterns, but some of them are a little too like Christmassy for me. I really value versatility in my hand knits, so I don't want something that I feel like I can only wear during one season. And even though I think El Naranjo would make a great holiday pattern, I think it's also versatile enough to be worn in many different seasons, especially if you went for kind of like a green or blue or cream color combination, like color palette. I think that would really open you up to a lot of different seasons of wear. Okay, I'll show you one more pattern and then we'll chat a little bit more about the book itself. It's going to be a shorter episode today, but I just really wanted to give this book its moment to shine. So the last pattern that I'm feeling really drawn to is, again, quite simple at first glance. It's called Gardenia, and it's beautifully classic. The sample in the book is knit up in this gorgeous champagne-y kind of color, and it lends it this beautiful grace. But my favorite element of this pattern, and one that again is quite subtle but makes a big impact, are the little pearl buttons on the cuffs. This is such a like Edwardian vibe to me, and I love anything with a little bit of a nod to antique or vintage styling. There are so many beautiful patterns in here. Those are all of the sneak peeks that I'm going to give you at this moment in time, but it's definitely worth a flip through on your own, especially since not only are the designs beautiful, but the photography is so gorgeous. If I remember correctly, these pattern photos were shot in Granada, and there are also some shots of the beautiful architecture and the local flora, and it just really draws you in and completes the whole vibe of the book. So that was a short and sweet kind of little review and introduction to Memory Lane. I hope you enjoyed this mini review. I hope that you found some inspiration in here. Maybe you have been encouraged to go and check it out yourself. It's definitely something that I will keep in my crafting bookshelf for the years to come, and I look forward to exploring this in more detail and knitting up a few more patterns in the future. Let me know what your favorite pattern that I mentioned was, and if you have the book yourself or you've flipped through the book already, let me know if there's a different pattern from the book that you were really interested in trying out. Thank you so much for joining me for this little mini-sode. If you liked this kind of video, doing a deep dive into a publication, let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like. If you'd like to follow along for future mini-sodes and full-length episodes, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I have really enjoyed making this video for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye.